ladies. Hey, I want to give you a few tips this week and reminders of things that you are doing. You are have been in Women of Valor for several weeks, and women are starting to get into a routine. But also, the little bit of the honeymoon period is over. The excitement of joining Women of Valor um, may be tainting just a little bit. Everybody's still excited about growing their relationship with the Lord, but remember that this is a marathon and not a sprint. So I was looking through the Leader's Guide this morning, and I just want to show you some things that maybe you would keep in mind. And so I'm going to move the camera here so we can see the Leader's Guide. And so in your Leader's Guide, there's a couple of things here. This is page 25, and just bonus tips for success. I would just encourage you to go through the first couple pages of that if you haven't. It talks a lot about attendance and promptness. And again, these are things that you want to have consistency in, because things are, like I said, you're kind of getting in a routine. So you have these, and I'll talk a little bit about those. And then on page 26, you have tips, things to keep in mind in your small groups to remind your mentors of. And then on page 27, encouragement for leaders for their first several weeks. So go back and read these pieces. They're really good. And then I've had some feedback from some of you that accountability is starting to become an issue as well. So that's on page 28, and then you get into your weekly meetings. But I just want to encourage you in this, ladies, because again, you're in this for the long journey with the ladies. And so a couple of things. Remember that now you're getting to the point you can probably are picking up on the ladies that are struggling with being prompt and being there on time. You can say blanket statements to the whole group, but these ladies typically, maybe this is something that they've struggled with for a while in their lives, is just the importance of time and getting there and being there. Women's default is often not showing up for things, and isolation, and the enemy would love to kind of pull them away from the group, and then they'll fall away. So encourage them and do some one-on-ones with them. Encourage your mentors to spend some time with them. Often it just needs to be knowing that somebody cares about them and is willing to spend one-on-one time with them. And that may just be a phone call, but just really maybe find out the root of the issue, how you can be praying for them. They need to know that you love them and care about them, that it's more than just the accountability, that you really do love them and are interested in their walk with God. And then in the small groups, just make sure everybody is starting to feel comfortable at this point and able to share. You should be able to tell by the SOAP discussions and the journaling whether they're reading the word and not just reading it, but getting something out of it. Again, that processing piece of not only reading the word, but be able to talk about it to someone. Same way with the memory verses, not just memorizing the verses, but talking about how they've applied that to their lives that week, and praying that memory verse and be able to talk about it with others is really important. The praying out loud piece, for a lot of women, that's really tough. So encourage them. One of my ladies this week had everybody write on their card what they wanted prayer for. Then they shared their cards. They put them in the middle. Everybody grabbed one. And so that week they were praying for that person, and they were texting that person during the week. And then when they came back together, they prayed out loud for that person. So that's an idea of something that you could do. Again, you're now starting to get into the serving piece. So create opportunities for them, or let one of your mentors be the one that creates opportunities and has the sign-up sheets, so you can do that. And speaking of mentors, your leaders, remember, you are making disciples. And I know I've said this before, but I just want to encourage you that as you see these mentors with their personalities and their giftings and their way of leading, that's okay if they don't do it just like you, or if you see them, their group really should take on a personality of their own, and you're going to see God work in that way. Remember, He strategically placed those women with that mentor, so let them take that on and do that. Celebrate their successes with them. When they're doing something really well, let them share that with everybody. Maybe it's something that they can do. That's where we've gotten most of our ideas, is the mentor coming up with things themselves and then sharing, and everybody else doing those. And so really encourage your mentors, love on them, celebrate successes with them. So again, read through the tips and ideas for weekly meetings. Go back over that to make sure that you're doing those things. Again, encouraging your ladies. Remember, you have 9 tools. Half of those tools have to do with personal growth. That may just be reading the word by themselves, journaling by themselves, praying by themselves, developing a daily quiet time by themselves. So those are things they can do on their own, but they're in Women of Valor and they're using all 9 tools. So the other tools incorporate things like meeting together, talking about the word, serving together, praying together corporately, going to worship services together. All those are super important. And so you want to mix the things they could do by themselves with the things that they are going to do as a group. So all the pieces are important. Remember, Women of Valor is just a vehicle. It's one way of growing close to the Lord, but it's the one that they've chosen. So that get them in the vehicle. All the process is important, and all 9 tools are very important. So you may periodically want to review those 9 tools with them again as well. Accountability. This is the time when it does get hard. When you get into week 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way up to really 9, this is the piece where it was really exciting and fun and new. But the honeymoon phase is a little bit over, because now it's the real deal, like spending time with every day with God. Again, making our lives fit into God's plan and not trying to fit God into our plan. We lose a little bit of control. And even in our meetings, in our small groups, you walk away sometimes where the package isn't fully wrapped and nice bow on top, but you leave some things open-ended where they have to go to God and work some things out themselves. The process is okay. So just be encouraged in that. Keep them accountable. Again, if women choose not to be accountable, they choose not to do this right now, that's okay. You don't have to take that personally. It's so hard. And every year I say, I'm going to do 100%. Every woman who starts is going to end. And that's never happened for me. And even this year, God showed me that just hold them tight. But some of them are wiggling so hard to get out that life circumstances happen. Things don't go as they planned. And so it's okay. And on page 28, I've referred several of you to this page, but it talks about how we get everybody and we say, okay, we're going to pick you up, get all ready to go. And so when we go to pick them up, they just aren't quite ready. So we wait for them, and maybe we go in and help them get ready, but there just comes a point where we have to leave them there and say, we'll pick you up the next time. That's okay. We still love you. We're still going to call on you. We want to see you in service. We want to help you get connected and into the church another way. But maybe this isn't the time for them to do the Women of Valor, get into that car and go. And so that's okay. Just love on them and just let them know that it doesn't have anything to do with how much you love them, but this maybe isn't the time for them. That's okay. And I know it's hard to let them go from that. All right. So I want to encourage you. You're doing a great job. A couple of other videos I'm going to make today. One is going to be on week 7 prep, and the other is going to be on the Holy Spirit. So